Risk On, episode 39.
Mm-hmm.
Sponsored by FOMO, best multi-chain trading experience in the game. Download it today. Promo code RISKON for 10% off all of your trading fees. Join us all there. I've recently started trading on Not a Nice Cat 69 again, instead of an alt, because I'm done being a pussy. And I'm going to join everybody else out there and show my face again on the app. So join us to download it. FrameMogged. This is the most absurd title we've ever had for a show.
Do you know what it means
whole
yet,
time?
Wood?
Yeah, I do. I think it's like when, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's when shoulder to shoulder is bigger than someone else's.
Yeah, that is exactly what it is. It's when your collabs are bigger than the other person. That's a frame mog.
Sats, you sound like shocked and impressed that Wood was able to explain what a frame mog was.
That was impressive. Wood, do you know who Clav is? Do you know who that guy is?
I do, because there was a clip going around of him being like, I'm making my jaw bigger, I take meth and all these other crazy things. And I was just fascinated that like anyone gave this drug-riddled idiot like time of day, but apparently he's very famous. And I don't know if he's ironically famous, or if people are like, nah, like Clav's the man.
I think it's a bit of both. As in, there's some people who love him, and there's some people who just watch him because he's ironic. But yeah, he's a character, but he gets decent views on Kick. I think he does like 20K on Kick every stream. So
is it a shtick or is he real? Like,
he's real. No, he's real. He is well and truly real.
He's got to be leaning into it a bit, but there's like there's a cult that is unironically like following this, right? They're buying in.
Yeah, he quite literally he'll like use a massage gun on his face to try and like restructure his bones, and then he's got double jaw surgery to increase his jawline. And he takes every drug under the sun, steroids, the lot. And goes balls to the wall. But
for a guy on steroids, he's not that big.
No, like, he's not, and he's not that strong. I saw videos of him at the gym, and he's not lifting that heavy stuff.
His arms, I've got arms that big.
Yeah, he's not the biggest guy. I
barely even work out.
So, but yeah, he's a character for sure. There was some drama of him yesterday following a guy revolving around a coin yesterday. The coin went up, and then Clav unfollowed him 20 minutes later. The coin rugged. 700K topper as usual.
Is he involved in the crypto?
That was his first.
I thought this was totally separate from crypto.
And once you get a taste, you can't.
So here we go.
You can't get away.
Yeah,
that was his first.
He's going down the phase banks.
Hawk to Dave Portnoy route.
I think he went. He got 20K. Like what I heard is he got 20K to follow. I think his name's Perpetual Cow on Twitter. And then after 20 minutes, when he realized what was going on, he unfollowed.
But he pocketed the 20K still.
Of course.
So he got to say, I didn't realize that, but I got paid to do this, but I'm not okay.
Yeah.
He pocketed the 20K. He realized what was going on, and then he jester gooned his way out of it.
Kobe's tweet was pretty funny.
He jester gooned out of there. Yeah.
What does jester goon mean? I don't know this one.
So being a jester.
Sats is trying to explain this shit like it's actually real, like as if there's a real term that means.
So jester maxing is when blokes try and impress women by being clowns, and jester gooning is when I don't even have to say any more. I don't think jester gooning is in the name.
I genuinely don't know. You're gonna have to say.
So I think that the idea is you're being a clown in front of the girls to hopefully
to fuck them.
Yeah, basically.
So you jester clown in order to jester goon.
No, not jester clown, jester max.
Jester Max.
But
he got Jester gooned by the ASU frat leader, right?
No, he got frame mogged. He got frame mogged. He got frame mogged by the ASU guy.
I love Sats explaining to a couple of unks what all this stuff means. I appreciate that. And this is the last thing I'll say. That ASU guy was the most ridiculous looking human being I've ever seen. Like he looked like a cartoon character. Like how do you walk around your life being like, this is what I want to look like? He looks like a buff like a gorilla or like I don't know.
Bro, he's
like,
got the widest fucking shoulders I've ever seen in my life, man.
I mean,
Like,
he's a frat leader, man. He's got to protect the territory.
He's got assert dominance by frame mogging people.
So if you guys can't tell by this conversation, it's really boring.
Not a lot going on. Not a lot going on. Yeah.
Not a lot going on chain. Prices, we had a strong recovery. What day is today? Tuesday. So we died on Friday. We kind of came back to life on Friday during our show, and then we kind of like pumped a little bit over the weekend. The rally was driven by short liquidations, though, not by spot buying. Sailor filled another billion, obviously like
generational top again,
20% above where everyone is.
Bro,
and it's still so
must
funny.
Be something going on there, no? That
No.
He has to be getting slipped by his OTC desk. Like they must.
There's
be
just
charging
no
a crazy
liquidity.
Premium.
You can't just jam $1 billion into Bitcoin. There's no one else. There's no one there.
Yeah,
it's what it has to be, right?
Yeah, and
he's trying to buy it's like me trying to buy 2% of a 600K coin. Like I'm gonna get filled at $1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I find funny about that too? Whenever this happens, you've got some of like the intellectual crypto Twitter side where they like to mock people for not understanding how things work, and they'll just make comments like, well, clearly you don't understand how these fills happen or whatever, but they never follow up and actually explain how they happen. they just say, of course it's more complicated than this. This is why he got filled higher. But they don't say why. So we still don't know why he gets filled so high. Exactly.
He just does every time. Just ends up with the worst fill ever. Yeah, man, it's rough. People still say it's down to what happened on 10/10. Obviously, a few market makers got wiped out, and the books are thinner. So yeah, he's trying to jam a lot of money into thinner books, which is causing crazy prices and crazy wicks. But yeah, I think it happens on such a consistent basis, and it was even happening before 10/10. So, like, I don't know, someone's fucking him. someone's fucking him in some way.
He's clearly not being fucked. He's bought too much Bitcoin to be being fucked.
True, but he is also. How much is he down on his buys now as well?
I think he's down. It's not great.
Yeah,
I think
he's not a big DCA guy.
No,
not a big DCA guy. Yeah.
Him and Tom Lee are in competition. I think. On whenever Master Earnings came out, or Strategy, whatever they call themselves now, Tom Lee was down $9 billion at the time, and Michael Saylor was like, "Yo, hold up, I'm down 12. Fuck off." So yeah, I mean, I read a stat that they're down more money than like FTX wiped out.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like by a wide margin.
Jesus, man.
That sounds good.
So,
yeah, that
sounds
crazy.
good.
So market's in a good space.
Market's
in a real good place liquidity wise. Everyone's really happy. Smiles on a lot of faces.
Yeah. Bankr looks dicey.
It does. It does look dicey. Solana is catching a lot of heat right now. I think I know they're on a Spaces right now. They've been on a Spaces. The guy, obviously, Vibu, the guy we had on, he's hosting a big Solana Spaces right now. Yeah, they're in a bit of a
it's titled "We're Not Fucking Leaving." So what? Yeah. So what's the heat? Why is Solana under pressure right now?
I think just because price is down, and they always say like, "Oh, we don't want anything to do with meme coins," but then everyone says, meme coins sort of created this chain, and everyone views that Base is sort of taking over the AI space a little bit. That'll be sort of the home for the foreseeable future for the AI stuff. It won't probably be on Solana for the near term. And people just say, yeah, there's nothing really interesting being built in Solana. It's become a bit of a, and people are starting to trade meme coins on USD1 and USDC now, instead of trading in Solana pairs. Right. So, yeah, everyone's saying Solana as a token is suffering on this basis.
And oh, by the way, it's 90 meme coins are like 85% of your revenue or 90% of your revenue. Probably not a great move to say we don't care about meme coins. We don't care about that. It's not a big part of our future.
Yeah, because it's literally the main thing they have going on right now. And obviously they're like I said, they're in a tricky spot with all the AI stuff moving over to Base. Tough to see that returning at the moment because Jesse's fucking leaning into that quite heavily, it seems.
Jesse's an idiot though. He'll fuck it up.
Yeah, also a valid comment. So.
I DM'd one of you the other day, and I said that I can't believe I have Jesse Pollock notifications turned on like what
the
has
big
the world
26.
come to? Yeah, in the big 2026.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't have it yet on my bingo card that Jesse Pollock was going to steal mindshare from Solana. These Solana guys, I know we had Vishu on, or we had Vishu on, but like you can't you can't look at your biggest product and the thing that has made you rich. Every single one of them, meme coins has made them rich, undeniably so. And then say, we don't care about that. We're just in it for the tech. Like, fuck you, you're not.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, the meme coin stuff is so tricky because it's like I think they obviously behind closed doors do care. They do recognize its value, but it's like you're trying to be a serious company. You know, you're out there on that, you know, in New York on Wall Street, like, you know, doing all these meetings, ringing the bell, and it's like you don't want that to be like your definitional identity. So they try to like have a step away from it, but it's like, but this, it kind of is what you are. It's like, you know, it's tough because I get they want to come across as this thing that drives institutional adoption and like
they want to push like the Nasdaq, don't they? They want to be like the Nasdaq of crypto,
right?
But like, right now you're the Nasdaq of meme coins. So
and it made sense initially when it's like, hey, there was this narrative, this thesis that like meme coins are our stress test for the system. We just want to pump out all these tokens so we can show we can handle all the volume. Oh, and then okay, now we solved fast and cheap, and they did a great job with that. Like give them credit where credit is due. They solved that problem before anyone else, and it was fantastic. But then once you get past the okay, we're done with the stress test part, now what? And I think that's where they're a little bit stuck.
Yeah, it always comes back to just a bit of a lack of innovation on chain. Like no one's doing anything crazy new in terms of AI products and things. So yeah, market always results back to meme coins. And I feel like we've had this conversation a lot, and now we are always back at meme coins, which is tough.
And even the AI coins are meme coins. And we're trying to talk ourselves into them not being meme coins.
Well, I think the other big development that happened after, you know, like Pump Fund was the breakout app, and it happened on Solana, and that was huge for them. And then the other driving like narrative of the cycle has just been Perps. And they really lost that one, you know, like hype has dominated the narrative there. It's really not close. They just weren't competitive in Perps. And so now it's like, well, what else?
What even happened to Drift? Like, where did that even go? Like, did they just sunset? Drift
you know, the funny thing is, I think, I'm not going to sit here and say I trade on Drift, but like, I think the product improved a good amount. They had really bad liquidity constraints early on. They just couldn't scale up the liquidity. And I think even though they've improved it, probably not to the level that hype can execute, like the UX isn't as good and the liquidity constraints aren't quite there, but like, they just, you know, the first mover advantage, people have already gotten comfortable using these other forums. And so I think Drift works better than it used to, but it's still not good enough to be competitive.
Yeah. I mean, like we saw Lighter try to go at hype and just get rocked. We saw CZ try to take a run at hype. You know, if CZ pulled out everything he had, right? To bull post asset. He really did everything he could, and like the platform isn't there, the liquidity is not there. Hyperliquid wins.
Well, at the end of the day, hype is a great product, man. Like they were first in a sense of like the decentralized exchange, and they're better than all of these others. So like if you want to really compete with them, you have to do something different and be materially better. You can't get to being close to even with them, and that doesn't do anything at this point.
You know what I think that this is maybe a hot take, but I think the issue these competing perp dexes have is they're launching tokens. I don't think they should be launching tokens. I think Lighter would have been a better platform without it, and so would Asta. And everyone says yes, it drives marketing, but you just build a good product and build a competing product which offers different values what hype doesn't have right now, like dark pools and things like that. The edge isn't in this token game at the moment for big cap coins. Like the token game right now has so many major flaws. With equity, buybacks not really impacting charts, like it's a tough game, and I think companies should stay away.
It gives you like 15 minutes of fame, like attention and hype, and then it just creates a ton of headaches after that because now you're responsible for it, and if it goes down, it can be really crushing.
I mean, we talked to Soju at length about this last week, and And he says he doesn't regret launching a token for Met, but like, you have to think that a lot of the conversations he's having is about getting people to buy the token, invest in the token, and
when he could
creating
be
shareholder value.
Pocketing all that revenue, doesn't have to rebuy the chart, doesn't have to worry about the chart. The platform stays the same, the users stay the same. It's just I just don't think it's a good idea in these conditions, and nor with the constraints that Solana has as a platform, and what anyone has as a platform in crypto. There just isn't rails to be building like tokenized equity. And like I had this conversation with someone big in Solana the other day on, everyone's trying to solve this game of tokenized equity, but the reality is probably someone from TradFi will come in and solve this to a 10x degree, and vamp whatever product that is built here. These guys know how to do this. These guys, we're playing them at their own game.
You're talking about tokenized equities.
Yeah, tokenized equity, and someone from TradFi will come in and do it well, and whatever we build will sort of fall flat. But obviously, as you can't stop trying. But yeah, I think until then, coins for these big caps, like big companies, just are backwards thinking.
I think the one exception is hype, and that's just because of like the speed at which they're growing, and that's like their token aside. I think it's really interesting, like how fast they've grown. If I saw somewhere on Twitter the other day, like a frame by frame with like the growth of a lot of these like exchange products, and like they're up there. They've been scaling. They're doing way more notional volume than Coinbase right now.
That's crazy.
They're doing more notional volume than Coinbase, and the only other exchange that's really beating them right now is like Robinhood. And so that's where like I keep thinking back, like they're the one that's maybe a threat as like a independent app that's like, well, maybe they make a run if they can get themselves onto a mobile app, if they can get themselves like, a little bit more accessible to just the regular person, and then that narrative were to expand, and they already have this loyal user base who drive a ton of volume. They're the one where I'm like, man, maybe they could do something really, really interesting and take on some of these larger institutions just because they can move so much quicker.
But what happens, like this is a genuine question. I'm pretty uneducated on this subject, so fucking bear with me. But I'm talking about like what happens when someone asks them, like you guys have to KYC. There's a reason you have to KYC to trade perp platforms in the US and elsewhere. And when do they run into that problem? Say if I can download a mobile app and start trading perps with no KYC at all, someone's going to have a problem with that in the US. Some regulatory issues are going to appear. There's a reason that them rails exist, and when does that become a problem? Does that become a problem? I don't know.
I think that's the risk here, right? And I think the second they do, you can't use them in the US today without a VPN.
Yeah.
And you don't have KYC, but you can use a VPN, of course. Now, when they do become accessible in the US, they're going to require KYC. And what does that do to their volume? Additionally, we don't know what like a true bear market does to their volume.
Yeah.
Additionally, like you have to, it's inaccessible to the average user. Obviously, it doesn't really matter, but it's built for power users, not for the everyday person. But like going to Arbitrum, bridging over to Hype, isn't easy. It was a big barrier for me at first. And then in addition to that, Hyper EVM sucks. It's unusable. People are calling it like the next Solana and all that, but like they don't have the product.
There's just no rails there at the moment. There's no tools. There's no tooling for liquidity to even be on there, really.
Right. But I think this is the reason I say, I agree. Those are all issues, but that's why it's so interesting that their growth has been what it is, because despite these constraints, despite how difficult it is to learn how to onboard onto the platform, man, they're doing great. They're growing super fast. They're competing with Coinbase. They're competing with Binance. So like now you look at it and you're like, well, these are very difficult problems to solve, but the benefit of being a small, agile, like up and coming startup is like they have the ability to just scale and do all these things and be agile. Whereas like these institutional players you're talking about that are going to come on and do the tokenized equities, they move at a snail's pace. They cannot just do things. It's going to take them years and a lot of like, they do all the regulatory stuff first. Whereas Hype is saying, we're just going to build really good shit.
Yeah.
And then we're going to figure that out later once we're so big and so popular that like people are demanding they have access to it. It may or may not work, but like that's where I think you take the bull case and you're like, man, these guys are onto something, you know?
Yeah, no way this is me saying I'm bearish on hype. I think it's the one product
agreed.
in the market as well where I think is going to succeed longer term. When everything else is being brought into question right now, like Solana, everything, every token is being questioned. Ethereum and all these L2s, like we're in a weird spot in the market where it's like people have realized that, you know, what are we doing here with all the L2s? We saw Vitalik's tweet last week. I did mention it briefly on the show with Soju. We touched on it very, very briefly, but that is crazy to me. We have all the L2s pretty much. Their use cases just went to zero. The co-founder of the L1 is saying that they don't need them. Like, where does that leave all of them?
Yeah. You know who is not a hype bull and thinks it's all bullshit is our boy Kyle Samani, who week after week continues to find himself in shit, saying Hyperliquid is what is wrong with everything.
I thought this is a crazy tweet.
A founder fled his home country to build, facilitates crime and terror, closed source and permission, sounding kind of like Joe Biden or Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, this is an interesting tweet and one. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't even see the angle. I feel like hype epitomizes what crypto is. It's a decentralized platform.
You know, like this had just Kyle had announced he was leaving Multicoin on Friday when we were talking to Soju, and we kind of like glanced over it, right? Like we made a comment, but then all this stuff happened over the weekend, and it's like, man, he really went full 180 very quick, almost like something. I mean, there's clearly some hostility there with Multicoin. There was another post where someone, you know, mentioned that Multicoin's been buying a ton of hype, and he responded underneath and said, I don't work there, right? So, and then there's all these conspiracy theories out there. The crypto banter guy started, you know, pulling up all their returns and basically showing that like the third fund is not doing well compared to the other two. He, you know, this was conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat, but like, is Samani now not allowed to invest in certain things that Multicoin was related to? I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's actually a really big topic though, because this is like the probably most well-known, notorious crypto VC who was, I mean, this is the guy that was super vocal and nailed the Solana trade at the start of the cycle, right? You just don't see people who are like foundational early crypto investors who are like, you know, in that core tranche of people who kind of carried the industry, just step out and all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, be so. He was literally just speaking at Solana Breakpoint about the future of Solana. Yeah, he did an hour lecture, and now all of a sudden he's anti-crypto, and all it is just a ledger system. It's like, very bizarre behavior.
Yeah, it is. A lot of these VCs are now in a bit of a tough spot as well, though, because their landscape has changed dramatically over the past year, and the need for them has dropped substantially. Like, not as many people need crazy funding anymore. It's cheaper to do things, so it puts them in a bit of a tough spot. Like, where do they? Especially crypto VCs in particular, I'm talking about here. Like, there's not really much innovation, and when there is, people don't need a lot of funding at the moment.
Yeah, and if you didn't hit the pump trade as a VC this cycle, like, what did you hit?
Yeah,
like,
I guess
Monad trades at like 10% of what they raised at. Monad's pumping right now, by the way. Shout out to our boy Rob, 100x saying
boy
Monad
Rob
10
called
trillion.
it,
Our boy Rob called it again. But
last thing on the Samani thing, really quick, Wood. After all this, he got FrameMogged.
Did he?
By Kobe?
Oh, wow. FrameMogged by Kobe.
Do we have that? Yeah.
Yeah, we do have that. Kobe's really leaning into his inner clavicular, is it?
Kyle was jester gooning. Yeah.
Clavicular.
What a crazy tweet that is. Mogging.eths.
Yeah, I mean, this might be Kyle Samani turning into a .eth. Like, our Solana guys turning into .eths, like right in front of our eyes.
Ah, man,
is that what's happening? Like, are we just like I tweeted last week, like, is Solana the next Solana, or is like it not, or is it the next ETH?
Are you saying because he came out anti-hype?
Yeah, it just seems like Dottie's behavior from 2 years ago when Solana first started to take charge, and it was clearly the superior product, right? And you had all these Dotties who are still like investing in DeFi products and Aves and whatever. Like this is the future of crypto. And then now there's 17 transactions on Monad a day. There might be 25 on.
Is there
Monad.
actually?
I'm joking. I have no idea.
But honestly, but that doesn't surprise me, and I have to ask because it doesn't sound too ridiculous. So,
no, the chart is up. It's up.
yeah, numbers gone up, so that it must be a useful tech. So,
it must be useful
I do have to ask, like, you see a lot of these comparisons from cycle to cycle. Like right now, the popular one is to say like Sol is going to be the ETH of last cycle, and then Hype is going to be the Sol of last cycle, et cetera, et cetera. People always make these comparisons. Is that a good way to frame like how you build these investment theses, especially if we're in a bear market and we're trying to figure out what the next thing is? In the same way that like people say, oh, don't do that, the 4-year cycle is not real, and then the 4-year cycle does play out. Like, is it just that simple that you're going to have the next Solana type trade and you focus on it? Or are we just trying to put these things into boxes where we say like, things are going to play out the same structurally with different assets? And is that a good way or a bad way to do it as an investor, trader, whatever?
I think it's the only way right now. Like, I just feel like what other thesis can you build in this market? Like, yeah, I guess it's hard to trade against what people think, though. I think that's always a bad idea. Like when everyone goes, oh, like Solana starts happening, it's time to get long Solana. I don't believe in that anymore. I think that's a thing of the past.
The hated rally, the concept.
Oh my god, rally. I hate people that think like that. Drives me crazy.
There's actually a reason now. When CT doesn't like something, it doesn't rip in your face. When CT start getting bearish on something, it's probably for a fucking reason now. 2 years ago, very, very different story. CT were bearish, probably time to get long. We were all wrong. But the space is advanced. People know a lot more. People are way more educated on the space and how things work, familiar with VCs, familiar with how this game's played. And when CT has a narrative about something, it's usually correct. So yeah, but not saying that can't change. I think CT are quick to adapt when things do change. Like we saw on Hype. I didn't see a lot of hype bears when price was down. It was can we get long here? Can we get long? Can we make something happen? But yeah, it's a tough one on Solana because it is the rails what everyone's building on. There is no other better place to do it. But
there's nowhere else to build. You can't build on ETH; it's too slow. You can't build on Hyper EVM. This is literally Solana is the only place you can build right now. So like people saying that Solana is the next ETH is like okay, like maybe, but ETH had Solana competing with it. Solana has nothing to compete with it right now except for fucking Monad, but Vitalik called Monad worthless. So what do we?
But then
and I think the trap
built right now. So
the signs were there too, where Solana's now it's a tough spot because people, like you said, Sats, are more educated on a lot of this stuff, like tokenomics matter, like all this stuff. So it can be true that Solana is great technology and the token is not good. Like those can both be true. And like there were so many attempts for people to, they cried out, they tried to adjust the inflation schedule. It's an inflationary token. There's a lot of VC overhang. Like there was all these things. And I think it can still be fought off if they reclaim momentum, if they get another breakout app, if they get something that is a new driver of revenue. But like there are all these warning signs that, to be fair, crypto Twitter has appropriately pointed out and aptly pointed out are now pretty big obstacles that like you no longer can just look over until now they have to have a solution for it, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. They're in a tough spot, but like so is everywhere at the moment in crypto. I think
except for Base, Bankr.
I guess that's the only thing interesting. I guess that angle I kind of like because it's like the whole thesis, Frank talks a lot about this, and the whole thesis of like agents won't be able to own their own bank accounts. They're going to hold their own wallets, and there needs to be rails built for that, and that's what Base are focusing on. That's an interesting narrative. Is it billions and billions of dollars? I'm unsure on that yet. So,
Well,
One thing about the
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, maybe Wood, you can comment on this. One thing about the banker narrative that I'm struggling with is like, so you're I don't know understand it super well, but you're having all these agentic tokens, themed tokens launch, but everything that's been launched has really been just aggressive rotational, like clear speculation trading, really really bad outcomes. Like nothing has sustained. And then with the banker token itself, okay, cool concept, kind of has some similarities to AI16Z and the flywheel effects of what it's creating. But then it's like a big chunk of the banker fees and revenue go to Clanker, but no one is bidding Clanker. I'm kind of wondering where you guys stand on all that, because it's like, okay, the banker thing in itself is cool, but it's not really producing any value. It's just producing a lot of aggressive rotational trading that nobody believes in anything that's coming out of it. So
I think that's
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter how great the tech is or how great the narrative is. There's no fucking liquidity.
yeah.
And like, yeah, Bankr's $100 million token today. Look at the chart. The coin's been around for a year. It was around during the last AI cycle. My
it
opinion,
was. I didn't know that.
yeah, it launched in November 24. So I mean, AI16Z clearly had the mind share at that point. But Virtual outperformed it during that time. And I'm not educated enough, and I don't want to fund anything, but like my opinion is, if it was going to do well when there was liquidity, it would have done well. And now we're looking for new things to trade, and we're spinning things up. And it is the thing that people think is cool right now and are piling into because we have nothing else to trade. People are sick and tired of trading memes. They don't like trading on Solana anymore. They think that base is better conditions. And Bankr represents, an AI cycle that people have lusted after for the past year. And they're chasing that. But, as cool as it could be or might be, if we don't see liquidity come back into the trenches, or we don't see fresh money start bidding this stuff and a true narrative or someone important like dive into this thing, like 100 million seems expensive to me.
Yeah, it's kind of tough with liquidity as well. Like, I took the role at Bonkers. I think liquidity will return at some point. I still believe it will, but it's about what it will return to. And I think, doubling down on memes is the only, like I spoke with on this yesterday briefly, but it was, I feel like the only way to play Solana right now is to double down on memes. And, that's the only thing people want to trade right now because there's nothing else that crazy interesting. But that's a tough angle to play as well. But we're getting there slowly and surely. I think.
I mean, do you want to touch base on the new Bonkers thing you guys launched yesterday? I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, so I was very vocal before I took this role about like getting rid of creator fees because I think they were just crazy. Like we had devs deploying 36,000 tokens a day and getting rewarded across the board, and that just isn't sustainable. We're feeding into the wrong people, like they're inheriting no risk and getting reward. But obviously, as a launchpad, we've got to incentivize them somehow. I'm going to look into how we can do that going forward. But yeah, this is it's a tough game to play on chain right now because there is such thin liquidity. You see it play out in front of you, not on just bonk tokens, on pump tokens, on bags tokens, on everything. The market only can support one runner at a time right now, and that's the case across all launchpads. And at the same day, I think at the same time, a lot of people give shit to some people give shit to bonk fund tokens, some people give shit to Fin, some people give shit to Alon and Pump. But at the end of the day, it's all the same participants playing this game. Everyone's it's the same people buying and selling the coins. So when a coin goes down, it's like, bro, this guy's now trading a pump fund token. It's the same participants across the board. And it's the same liquidity. Like I said, you see one coin go to 2 mil, and everything around it sort of starts to fall apart. And that's just the way it is right now. But my plan at Bonk is to hopefully build during this time, create decent infrastructure to the point where we can support multiple runners when liquidity is back to the best of what we can do. Make sure our liquidity isn't leaving the trenches and we can recycle it back into coins. Help communities where we can, but yeah, it's a tough market to play this game in. Obviously, that comes with getting a lot of shit. Probably some granted, some definitely granted, but yeah, that's where we are right now. Interesting change. It's landed pretty well. It seems like people liked it. It does definitely make an impact to charts. Like I think we've bought back over $100,000 worth of coins in the last 24 hours since this launch. So that's 120. That's 100K which didn't leave the ecosystem. That is now back in coins. So I think that's a positive change. And as liquidity increases and the trenches may come back, obviously that number will increase as time goes on, but we'll see. Tough
It's
game.
a valiant effort that you guys are trying to do something. I mean, we've talked so much about the creator rewards on this show, and it's such an obvious, just clear problem. I think like the reality is this in itself doesn't change anything. Like it's not going to create you can't just manufacture the runner and say this is going to be the one that goes, but it's like your hope would be people start deploying more tokens using this mechanism rather than the old one. And if one does catch viral attention, if volume does come in, then this creates a little bit of a flywheel effect where it's like we can't force the market to attach itself to a token, but if they do, there's some more mechanics to help this rather than the creator, the guy who clicked the deploy button just starts taking the fees. It just goes back and it's not like a world-breaking game changer, right? But it's better than the alternative by a marginal degree.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. It's hard to think of, or it's hard to do world-changing things with Launchpad because this game has been going on for a while now. So it's tough to make crazy changes, but I will experiment in doing crazy changes because that's what I'm here to do. Like I said at the end of my tweet, like I will move as fast as we can as a Launchpad and try different shit. What seems a bit out of the box, it may land, it may not, but I just want to keep this game interesting because in my opinion, it did get very fucking stale. It did get very, very stale, and there needs to be new ways to do things. There needs to be new ways of trying to incentivize people to hold and trying to incentivize people to do just the things a bit differently because we're playing exactly the same game we were playing 2 years ago, and tools have caught up, but Launchpad sort of didn't. So now we have a massive over tooling problem, but the same structure and the same things as 2 years ago. So we're in a tricky spot.
I mean, like if I can give my unsolicited advice and unprovoked feedback as someone who's just traded a ton of volume, like Wood and I have, we are the dumb marginal buyer. Like we're the ones who
buy your bundle.
I think like with what we've seen with Launchpads up to this point is it's always so reactionary. It's always like trying to like figure out, oh, we need to get a runner tomorrow. We need to like do whatever to try to like steal some market share today specifically. But like, I think, look, you guys are not the top market share right now, and that's okay. Like, I think it's more a matter of like, don't try to just win today or tomorrow, but like, it's okay if you guys try some shit and mess up. You'll be in kind of the same spot because of where liquidity is as a whole, like in the market. But if you guys are willing to try to do some big picture things that give a shot at like trying to just spice things up a little bit and like give something different, like the big picture approach to me is like, it would be so refreshing and welcomed. And like, even though we probably all shouldn't, traders are looking for a reason to continue here because of what it provided in 2023 and 2024. So they want any excuse they can to keep going.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just finding changes that will land well, and even if they don't land well, knowing when to pull them. But I've got a lot of ideas. Some are fucking crazy, and some are more things that people can expect. But I'll try fucking all of them. I'll try all of them until this game doesn't give any more. But it's clear, this game still has more to give at the moment. Whether it returns to 2024, 2023 era, that's a tough one. But we're going to make it as interesting as possible. Keep on trying to push decent shit. But yeah, I think a lot of people just expect things to just go to 100 mil when you push an update, and people want things to happen overnight. But in reality, if we're talking completely organic stuff here, yeah, there isn't enough liquidity to go around to support multiple things at the moment, and that's just where we are.
Yeah.
Like,
organic farm raised coins are a thing of the past.
I mean, tough one, but to an extent at the moment, yes. When Bitcoin say goes back to say we get a big rally to 90K, there'll be way more to go around. There'll be way more to go around, and it's about preparing the infrastructure for when and if that fucking happens. Playing the short-term game where you're fighting over pennies, like I think I mentioned when I took this role. I mentioned to the Bonk team as well. Playing this whole PvP game on 500K tickers is just it's a worthless game. It's a minus EV game where I don't think that wins any market share. I don't think that changes materially anything. It just wins maybe a day of fees. And where does that really get us? It doesn't really win us anywhere in the long term. So
yeah, I mean, look, you guys are the Launchpad business right now in crypto is like, it's a tail end risk game. It's for when things are risk on. So if we're going to crab down to 45K on Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like that's what's happening. No, there's no winners really.
Yeah.
Things will stay status quo. If we see a recovery and Bitcoin's back to 100K, you want to be ready for that because that's when things heat up.
Yeah. That's my thinking. And
there's no better time to fuck around than when, in these conditions when if you fuck up, it doesn't really matter. There's not enough liquidity in the market for it to really matter. And you can kind of see what sticks, and hopefully along these iterations of whatever bonk fund becomes, you'll find like the holy shit moment and realize you got something.
Yeah, literally.
And I think that's all you can do because, Pump has been reactionary for the most part, as we all know. That's not talking shit. It's just the reality. Their model is their model. And it's done well, and they were a first mover. But somebody, needs to step in and alter the game, because otherwise we're gonna have a bunch of the guy that launched Penguin, who made $700,000 launching like 100,000 fucking tokens.
Yeah.
And that is not good for the ecosystem.
Yeah. And I mean, how much was in the pool of Penguin? Like, so he made 700K, but how much was actually in the liquidity pool?
He made 700K in total just from launching coins and creator fees over the lifetime of. I don't even know what he made on Penguin.
Was that just alone? I think that was just alone on Penguin. I think no.
No, that was his lifetime of.
That was the lifetime
tokens.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, he just launches and rugs, and that's all he does.
Yeah, that's insane. Hopefully, thing of the past. That's fucking not sustainable. And like I said, that's just money leaving the ecosystem, gone forever. It's probably probably not knowing him, knowing who that is, who done that. That'll be back. That'll be back. But
hey, and Sats, here's the good news, man. The good news is everyone hates you guys. So that means you didn't come in and you can't go from being liked and causing everyone to hate you. They already hate you.
Yeah.
So if you do something good and you make people rich, they can only go from hating you to liking you, and not the other way around.
Yeah. That is sometimes the tough reality of this game as well. It's just, there's so many people with who feel like they've lost everything, and they look for someone to blame, and it's probably the launchpads they look to first. But every other launchpad apart from Pump right now is on the most hated list. I think Finn is probably catching strays from nowhere. We are, of course, as you can expect. And Pump even, Pump fucking catch a lot of shit as well. There's a lot of talk around. I saw Mike Dudas ball posting the Pump token, saying they've got crazy revenue, and he thinks it's the most obvious play of the 21st century. And, that might be the case. They do great revenue. They do like a lot of buybacks, but it's an interesting conversation around where are these buybacks going if
Pump
chart
has
is going up.
Bought back close to $300 million worth of their token, and it is trading 50% below its ICO price.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to.
So what does that mean? Are they actually holding the buybacks? Has anyone verified if they hold the buybacks, or are they buying and then they move to Kraken and then they sell?
I mean,
I don't want to be the guy that says it, but some of the math does not add up.
That's an excellent strategy you just described.
Control now. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything, but it's like, yeah, 300 mil does a lot of damage to charts. You make charts move with $300 million.
Yeah.
They don't go down. They don't go down with that numbers. So
That's all I'm saying is if the buybacks can only be effective if you hold the buybacks, don't sell.
I've got a theory. They've hired Rosso.
they've
Raza
hired
was
Raza.
him.
Yeah, Raza's in the pump bundle.
Rosso's in the
You bought him a new wristwatch. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. But no, I think you know, he has a decent thesis, but you know, fucking hell, like what's going on with these buybacks? And this is coming from an objective standpoint. If I had this view before fucking Bonk, like I was a pump holder at one point as well. I played this token a lot. I made some money. I lost some money on it. But if I'm being completely objective, like, yeah, what is going on? You can only bull post about buybacks and how much revenue they're doing, and it's going to be amazing if you can see it in the chart. Because they're going to do loads more volume, and they're going to do another 500 mil of buybacks or something, and we're not going to see it. It's just going to continue where it is now. So I don't know.
What company besides Hype has done well with buybacks? Like everyone jizzes over buybacks. Yeah, everyone's like buybacks, flywheel, buybacks, and then they don't fucking work. The only people that have made it work is Hype.
Yeah,
like, right?
Yeah, and a lot of companies like Radium, Meteora, Jupiter. Like Jupiter's just announced they're stopping that. Yeah, Jupiter just announced they're stopping their buybacks. So yeah, it's just another thing of having a token is clearly a minus EV thing right now. Would Jupiter be in a 10 times better position if they didn't have a token? Yes.
Yeah. Well, the Jupiter thing was interesting because they actually came out there quite transparent. They said, hey, we've been doing all these buybacks. We've spent a ton of money on it. I think they said they bought back, I don't want to say it because I don't remember the exact number, but it was above $10 million worth of, it's probably much more. It was more. I don't know. They said we've done X amount of buybacks. It clearly has not been an effective strategy because it keeps getting sold off. We're just going to take that money and we're going to apply it towards product updates and do things that are going to help, build the company out. And maybe in the bull market or whatever, this is like, people would be up in arms and say you have to stop doing that. No one really batted an eye. Everyone in the comments was like, yeah, makes sense. You guys should probably stop wasting that money. It's not helping. So I do think right now when you're in bear market conditions and the proof is in the pudding where it's like the buybacks have not had the desired effect, like I think this is a free pass for teams to look at it and say, do our buybacks make sense? For some people, the answer is yes. For some people, the answer is no. But like, is there any objective value that we're getting from this? Is it helping anyone? And if not, is there a better way we can use that money to help grow our business?
Yeah, and like some teams are buying back and burning, so we're just deleting money. Like we're not even
deleting money. This is
we're not
crazy.
even we're not even extracting money from the ecosystem. We're just burning. We're getting rid of it for no fucking reason.
And if you do that for a couple months and you're like, okay, we want to wait and see what happens with it. If there's a supply shock or whatever, or people start to catch on. But if you've been doing it for 6 months and it has not had any effect, maybe reevaluate.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, if your chart is still puking downwards every single day. So there's got to be sellers from somewhere.
Well, I had to sneeze when Swizzle was talking about pump fund, and I put my mic down so I didn't hear it if you said this. But like the only thing I can think of is you do buybacks because your core team or your VCs have tokens they want to sell and need liquidity for.
Yeah, but then don't you just OTC them?
Maybe, but you want to pump the price higher when you do OTC them, right?
Yeah, I guess
so. Maybe, just maybe, that's why the pump price keeps going down. Oh, we've bought back $300 million. Alon, maybe he had $300 million of tokens to sell.
It's a great exit liquidity strategy.
We're laughing, but this is real.
This
is actually
Jupe did buybacks for what, 2 years, and like, we sold all our coins. We had no coins left. What's the point? I'm just gonna build that. We've already made our money.
Yeah, that is true. Maybe that is the thing where the mentality what a lot of teams have around buybacks is this is how we're going to get out. This is how we're going to sell off our tokens in an effective way. And as predatory as that is, that it makes sense as a business, even though it might be predatory and it might be immoral in some ways. But
Well, and you
yeah.
could argue it's not necessarily predatory. Like if you can do it in a clean way, if you can execute it where, okay, like one justification is if the buybacks are truly like supporting the chart and stabilizing it while providing that out for, no harm, no foul. It doesn't hurt the retail investor. It doesn't hurt, it helps the VCs cash out or whatever. So like you can, there's a way to justify it, but like, man, if the chart's just going down 80%, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, now it doesn't look so good.
Yeah. Now we're in a bit of a sticky one.
Yeah.
But no, there's issues even like with this question is raised sometimes with Bonk. Like they do a lot of buybacks and burns, and I get a lot of questions on this as well. Like what's going on with the burns and what's going on with this and X, and it's like, yeah, it's a question to be raised. Is it worth doing in a market like this, or could it be used to build better shit, be more innovating, and use it to do cool shit in crypto? Like,
clearly, buybacks work because companies that trade on the stock market have been doing it for decades and doing it very effectively for decades because they have, maybe just going back to what I was saying before, there's rules and regulations about insiders selling tokens into buybacks. Just maybe. Just an idea. And crypto, for whatever reason, is unable to make buybacks work. I wonder why.
Well,
it's not
but
that
you see, like, if there's good actors and they do it in the right way,
with hype. You see hype is making it work.
Yeah, it can work, but like right now, it's kind of an honor system. It's not like it is in the stock market where it's contractual. So you have to have some smart people who have bigger picture objectives than just like using it to try to get themselves out of positions. Like if that's their goal, then they're not long-term oriented. It's not going to work. It can be effective. It can be helpful if you got the right teams in place and there's a strategy behind it. But like just doing a buyback because it's supposedly bullish is not the answer. There's got to be a method to the madness, I think. So.
Yeah. No, 100%. I agree. Who's in a great spot right now? I gotta say, they do sponsor the show, but FOMO, no fucking token, great platform, and they're fucking taking over the game at the moment. They don't have this overhead about a token. They don't have this overhead about buybacks. They don't have crazy VC investors looking to offload. Like, great fucking spot as a company, and say it's killed it in this last few months, even though we've been in a
great.
We've been in a bit of a downturn in the market, and he's managed to snatch crazy attention, and it's only going to get bigger from here, I think. So
no, I agree. Last thing before we go, our boy Swizzle launched a game today. He 2 weeks ago couldn't use CloudBot or as Mac Mini or whatever. I don't know the terminology because I've never actually used it. And now he's launched a game. So congratulations on your technological advancements in vibe coding.
Thank you, man. It's actually been really fun playing around. I kind of just was messing around and I needed something to do. So yeah, I made this, I remade the Oregon Trail and I did it with the copper Inu, digital copper trail. But I was just like messing around, and it is kind of crazy. It's not a good game. It's actually a terrible, shitty game. Like it's really
folded
bad.
on yourself straight away.
I'm just gonna be honest. It glitches all the time. Like it's not good objectively, but it's a functional game. And I was like, just reflecting on it. I was like, man, I made this in like 8 hours or whatever. Like I spent like most of a day on it, but I was like, this like Claude LLM shit is pretty cool, man. Like the fact that I have no coding experience, I really don't know, and like I could build out a game and like be given feedback to basically my personal dev that's making it, who's not good at coding, but they're able to do it fast. Man, I don't think like the quality of this stuff is like institutional level, but like it's pretty fucking insane that I made a video game in one day and I can't code.
Yeah. It's like, where does this look like in a year's time? Like, where does this look like in 2 years' time, 3 years' time? All of a sudden, these guys are better than doing the jobs of anyone who doesn't have a role that interacts with people. Like if your role is based on like human relations, and not fucking spreadsheets, like where do you go? Like if you're say you work in IB, and you're not on a sales side in IB, what does your job look like in 3 years? I have no idea. Like,
Yeah, and like what I've learned going through all this is like so much of it is about people are going to have to become masters at like prompting, at like just knowing enough about how the engineering systems work to like speak in the prompt language to help like, tweak things. And like, I wasn't very good at it, and then I got better at it as I started noticing different errors, and I was like, well, oh, I'm saying it in the wrong wording. I have to reword it this way so that it can understand what type of code it needs to write.
yeah.
So like, I think that's probably the evolution, is there's just going to be a lot of like prompt specialists, I think.
Yeah.
At these lower level, like entry level roles, but it's scary stuff, man, for sure. Scary.
It is. It is interesting future we've got to look forward to. Definitely. But yeah, I do think it's one people scare themselves. Like it's a bit of fear mongering. Everyone's like, oh my god, there's going to be no jobs. Everyone's cooked. The economy's dead. But no, it's not the reality. But we are seeing crazy layoffs at the moment. To be fair, though, major corporations preparing for this probably crazy wave of AI. Bullish for the stock market, bullish for the stocks, but bearish for the average person. A theme of this Trump administration at the moment, I think. So.
Have you guys played the Copperino Trail yet? By the way, are you on the leaderboard?
I'm not, but I did give it a click around. But I think that was pre-leaderboard.
Yeah, we got a leaderboard up now.
Damn.
So
I did some clicking, and I couldn't really figure out how to play. So I'm gonna go back in. I'm gonna type it again. I was clicking around. I was like, what am I supposed to do? But I will go back in and I will play more. I did retweet your game and say how bullish it is for Copperino, though, because a community of people building things is cool. So
yeah,
thanks for that.
It doesn't get better.
Does not get better than that.
Swizzle,
Bitcoin,
the community member, man. Swizzle, the community member, the builder. Bag worker. Yeah,
I love community member Swizzle.
Yeah.
I don't think you've ever done more for any token than that.
No, I mean, to be clear, I didn't do it. My Claudebot did it. So he deserves all the credit. Shout out to Claudius.
My Mac Mini is still in the bag it came in. I paid for early delivery from the Apple Store. It is still in the bag, still sealed with the tamper seal.
Why did you get it from the app? Why did you not get it from Amazon?
Because it was the same price from Apple. I don't know. I don't know.
That's real unk stuff right there. I thought Amazon was just the number one.
I paid $9 to have it delivered during a 1 hour time frame. Signed for it, and it is still sitting on my desk.
So you actually paid for the express delivery.
And then
you wanted same day. You wanted same day, and then it's been 3 days, and he hasn't unpacked the box. So
it's been impressive.
It's
good
been
use of the $9.
Yeah, bro. We're in a bear market, bro. You need to hang on to that. Like,
it's been 2 weeks, so maybe by Friday.
In all fairness, you have just had a newborn.
I just had a kid, guys. Yeah. I've been rocked. So.
Your wife will understand if you need a couple hours to set up your Claudebot,
though. I'm on a generational down run. I've had a kid. I got norovirus. I had a pipe burst, and then we all caught the flu. So I'm on a hot streak. But you know what? I show up here every Tuesday, Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. I shill try FOMO, and I talk about shitcoins. No matter what.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Do we have a guest on Friday, guys?
We don't at the moment. I'm trying to get cash on. From Jupiter. Trying to work out a date.
We'll find someone.
It'll be interesting. We'll have an interesting guest on. Hopefully, maybe someone else in the Solana ecosystem, since it's a bit of a interesting time. I would like to start getting a few more, start reaching out to some people at crypto VCs.
I want to talk to someone at Base who can tell me why I'm an idiot for thinking they're idiots.
Maybe we get Jesse on. We argue with Jesse for an hour. Always a possibility.
Is there another option?
Is there another option apart from Jesse?
I don't know the other people, but
I don't know. Did you see the Coinbase ad? The Super Bowl that caused a lot of controversy. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No, I didn't.
No? Oh,
I
man.
did see the old FTX commercial with Larry David from years ago, though. Did you guys see
man.
that?
No,
We
that
honestly
sounds
should have
awesome.
rolled this. It was incredible. You guys should go back and watch it. Larry David FTX commercial.
Yeah, the Coinbase ad, like it was like a popular song. I don't remember which one it was, but it was a popular song. It ran, and then like, at the end it just said Coinbase, and that was the ad, and it just fucking pissed everyone off. And they released like loads of merch and shit. The merch fell very, very flat. Everyone was saying how out of touch the marketing team are. Not
So
the
it had
best.
nothing to do with crypto
No.
or anything, really.
No, it was just a song that everyone knew. Everyone sung along thinking it was a great ad. And everyone was like, yeah, this is amazing. And then at the end, Coinbase flashed up and they were like, oh, fuck. Yeah, so bit of a tough one from their side. But I guess any publicity is good publicity. Maybe they bought a few users on yesterday off the back of that. But another company in an interesting spot. So,
yeah, well, all right. Well, Coinbase doing less volume than Hyperliquid and spending tens of millions of dollars on Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah, I know we are running out of time here, but the last thing I can speak of is Base. Base did today, they sunsetted the Creator Rewards platform. So
Saw that.
Oh,
there's no
I
more.
forgot about that.
They're not doing that anymore. Good change. Good fucking change.
FOMO ran them off the map.
David beat Goliath, huh? FOMO.
Yeah.
Shout out FOMO.
Yeah, shout out FOMO. They really did. They won that battle, and yeah, I think it's a good decision from them. I remember I left loads of comments under Jesse's tweet when this was a big thing and saying basically like, you guys need to get rid of this now. You have a good swap platform. What's making a shitload of money, as in Base. Just focus on being a multi-chain app and stop this whole Creator Rewards Zora thing. This just doesn't work.
Which is good, right? Like I do give credit. It's like it's okay to try things. You just can't when it's clear it's not working or it's there's no fit. Like you gotta have the balls to just cut it. You know.
No, I completely agree, and yeah, but that's what we need in the space. People to try something, big companies to try something. So I would never be opposed to that. So yeah. Other than that, all good. Fair enough to them. Also, another company in an interesting spot, Coinbase. So
we'll see what they can do. All right, sweet. We'll be back Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Go download FOMO. Use promo code RISKON to get it, and we will all chat soon. Thanks, guys.